We're dusting off the microphones and hitting record after 6 fucking weeks. Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amogh.
I'm Mukesh.
And I'm Aakarsh.
Welcome everybody. We are back. 6 weeks, boys. We actually went on a pre-season break like no other.
Yeah, we went on a pre-season break longer than the players who play the season.
But that's okay, guys. We work harder than the players do. They just run around on a pitch for 90 minutes. We put in the actual effort of
and
coming.
they also get paid. They also get
Exactly.
paid.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, more than anything else, unlike the players, we didn't have international duty. So I think we are well within our rights to have an extended break. So for anybody who's like questioning our decision to go on break for that long, well, in your face, dude. But please also keep listening to us and don't forget us because we really need your validation.
Also,
So in your face, but also in your ears. Please don't take us out of your
exactly.
ears.
In all your body parts, except all the non-veg ones, the vulgars.
No, also understand that when we don't do the podcast, we actually save time and money. Unlike players who get paid, we actually made money while going on the break. So just try your best to not make that the case for us and I guess contribute.
Absolutely. So now the thing is, we put out an Instagram story asking our listeners to write in with their questions, and usually what we do is in the second half of the episode we dedicate an entire segment to questions, but we're going to do something a little different this time. I want to just throughout the episode pepper in the questions where we feel like they make sense depending on the talking points that we are talking about. And to begin, a bunch of people have asked us about what we were up to. So Noob Click says, good to see you guys. Come back. How are you all? Aakarsh, how are you? And Mukesh, how are you? We need specific answers and they need to be different from each other. They can't be the same answer.
Oh, okay. So since you said specific, yeah, that covers.
Mukesh just shaking his head and staring at the screen pensively, completely forgetting that this is an audio medium and nobody's going to see his reaction because this is not the clip we're going to put out on social media as our video snippet. So Mukesh Manjunath showing mastery of this art form in
guys, this is still a conversation between three people. I can't break the decorum of that. I can't suddenly break into an Nagin dance because I'm like, oh, I guess the video doesn't go out. I can do whatever I want.
Listen, if you want to break into a Nagin dance, I personally encourage that. I would love to see you break into a Nagin dance randomly.
I feel like
we will put that clip out.
Exactly. And I feel Mukesh, you have to do the entire episode and you have to pepper in at least 5 instances where you just randomly do the Nagin dance this time.
Okay, that's a good challenge. This is the kind of shit that brings in the listeners, right? Doing a visual thing.
Absolutely. We have 2 more questions talking about what we did in the break. Krishiv _25 says, missed you guys. My Tuesday evenings are incomplete without your podcast. He has another part to that question which we'll get to later on in the episode, but he misses us.
That's the most
at least someone
I've got it in 6
like
weeks, I think.
My God, the collective depression level in this podcast is reaching like dangerous levels. At least somebody misses us apparently. But all right.
But I also like this, right? Because so people are actually saying there are some listeners, we'll mention who they are later on, who are just like, yeah, okay, you're back, but tell me about this football thing. And I'm like, ask me about how I've been, say how you are, what are you doing? Thoda like I've walked into the house. Only. Yeah, no decency. Thoda chai vai kuch pilao and then ask the question straight up, what do you think about Mbappe? And I'm like, oh my God, give me a break. I just came back.
हाँ मतलब 100 करोड़ की डील जब भी कोई बिजनेसमैन कर रहा होता है तो पहले चाय पिलाता है. He doesn't get straight down to business. Also finally Mehta.Ishan says, what did you guys do during the break? Aakarsh, what did you do in the 6 weeks that we were not recording?
Fuck, honestly, I deleted Instagram, deleted Twitter. I was like, I just want to not deal with football, not be like, who is Everton going to sign? Who is leaving? And it's just like, let's fucking stay away from all this shit.
Mukesh, what did you do in the break?
I was good. I didn't delete Instagram. I traveled the world a little bit, which was nice.
Yeah.
And then
Can I butt in here? You
yeah,
didn't really Instagram because you usually don't, but your girlfriend did that for you.
yeah,
So at least the people who follow your girlfriend, we got an exciting insight into your travels around the world. So well done.
yeah.
And I
So
just
I'm
want to
good.
say it's very mean that you said, oh, that's the most love I got in 6 weeks, considering you just came back from what you called a Europe yatra.
Europe Yatra.
Does your girlfriend listen to the podcast?
No,
Because
she
if she
doesn't. So I
does,
can
she's
say
probably
whatever I
not
want on this
going to stay your
podcast.
girlfriend for much
Are
longer.
you trying to give her like some hints saying that you're not getting enough loving? Is that what's happening here? Are you using us as a medium to complain?
I would use it as a
Listen,
medium if she would listen to this podcast. Or I can say whatever I want on this podcast because she doesn't listen to it. So it's excellent.
I'm
I'm
glad
sending
I'm
it to her.
glad
The
you ended.
minute it releases, I'm sending it to her. I'll just
I'm
say,
glad
oh,
you.
you go ahead, scrub ahead to 10 minutes.
Guys, we have one
I
more
am
listener. We're bringing in the listeners like this.
I am so glad you ended that sentence with she doesn't listen to the podcast as opposed to not in general. Because if you just wanted to shoot yourself in the foot a little more,
No,
that
no,
would have been the
guys.
perfect way to do it.
In these 6 weeks, I've become wiser.
Mm.
Amogh, what did you
All
do
right,
in
cool.
these 6 weeks?
I mean, I don't really. I just relaxed, dude. I just de-stressed. I completely forgot about organizing Monday recordings, having to go to the studio, coordinating with the producers, coordinating Zoom link if you're doing remote editing, wo sab. Just stayed away from all of that, and I realized that is like 4 hours a week that I got back. So that was really really good. That was almost an entire day, a little more than an entire day that I recovered not talking to you guys about football. Which is not entirely true because we still had conversations where we spoke about football. It's just that the rest of the world did not hear it.
Also, it's
But
not like you
imagine,
made
like,
use of those 24 hours like solidly. It's not like in those 24 hours, you probably slept. You
Yeah.
ate a little more.
Yeah.
and it's not just 24 hours, because 24 hours we must have saved just not doing the podcast, but also every week we watch at least 2-3 matches of football, a whole bunch of highlights. Guys, we've got a lot of our life back, and I feel like I didn't do anything with it. What a waste.
Actually, to be fair, I would also like to point out that I went to Dubai, like all the players do. Went to the Salt Bay restaurant. Paid exorbitant amounts of money for a fucking weird dude to sprinkle salt on my food. It was creepy as fuck. And
you could have called me home. I would have done it for you.
Yeah.
Did you take the namak with you? And be like, hey.
Yeah, it's there in the kitchen. But
no, you have to like use their namak so that कुछ तो पैसा वसूल हो. If you're taking your own namak, तो फिर क्या फायदा?
नहीं मैं उनका नमक घर लेके आया मेरे दाल चावल में डालने के लिए
तू अपना डंडी मार्च दुबई से शुरू किया.
Yeah. I was like, do you use it for like a filet mignon or do you use it for like palak paneer? Like
dal khichdi.
perfect.
Palak paneer also nahi. But no, I also posted pictures on Instagram of me working out and telling people that I'm getting ready for the new season. You know, just like the work never stops. You know, cliched captions like that. But yeah, that was basically it. But thank you all of you who asked about our well-being during these 6 weeks that we had nothing else to do. But now we are back. We are back for good. We will be recording every week, unless there are unavoidable circumstances, in which case we can't. But that's all for later. The season is about to begin. August is here. 11 days to go for the new season to kick off. Lots has been happening. Mukesh's first Nakin dance has happened. Well done. Lots has been happening in the world of transfers, in the world of everything related to preseason. What is everybody looking forward to in the next season? Aakarsh, what is the one thing that you're looking forward to the most for next season?
What I'm looking forward to the most is hopefully Everton signing some forwards and having some forwards who can score.
Achha.
That is all I want to look forward to.
Mukesh,
I've not really missed this, by the way. I've just not missed it.
Nor have I. This is the most exciting off-season I've had. Like, I'm like, oh shit,
this.
football's back.
He's like, I hope there are goals in the game of football. I'm like, oh my God, what a depressing start.
I think the beauty of being an Everton fan is you get to really break down football to its bare basics. Just like there is no layer to the nuance that you need to support a football team. Either हम लोग Manchester United or Liverpool fans बोल रहे हैं यार we need a fucking striker who can play a false nine as well as drift out into the wing so that he can provide to the players who are already there. Aakarsh like goals चाहिए कोई तो दो टांगे वाला इंसान चाहिए जो बॉल को किक कर सकता है.
You know, we used to make fun of Michael Owen when he used to say that you know a team needs to score goals. Now I get it. I'm like, yeah, that's all the team needs to do, because Everton were the second least scoring team last season. So it's like, just score goals, score more goals than you played games. If you can do that, it's a successful season for Everton, because last time they didn't do that.
I've been dreading this Saudi investment because I'm like, who will follow that now? And I feel like, Aakarsh, you choose, man. You choose one of these Al-Ittifaq, Al-Fataq, Al-Ali. You choose one of them as the new teams and you be our correspondent from Saudi League. Because that way, at least you'll feel some. You pick a club to support. Some Taylor will be your favorite player, I think. So then you pick that and be a Saudi correspondent.
I mean, I feel like Middle East correspondent ka post, I think, has to go to Prashant. I don't think I can take that away from him. He is geographically there, and I feel like that automatically makes him more qualified.
Mentally, you would be more suited to do that coverage.
Absolutely. Mukesh, what are you looking forward to the most in the next season?
Well, definitely goals and the stoppage of goals. That's one. No,
don't say.
So first, I think obviously Liverpool strengthening the squad with maybe 2-3 more players. I think that's an immediate thing I'm looking forward to. I think we are still 2-3 players short. And I think in the long term, definitely pushing above I think we finished some 6 to 7. So I think push 6. So pushing into the top 3, not even top 4, top 3, and being as far into the title challenge as possible. And I think with the current squad, I think title challenge is still far away, but you can, like, Liverpool can still definitely push a team, push the top 2 teams for sure.
So right. So on that note, Mukesh, Ni_me_sh has asked this question, and I think you're the perfect person to answer this. Who will be the game changer signing for Liverpool? And these are the names that he's used, which are fucking fantastic. So well done, Nimesh. Matt Ali Nastar or Dominic Subhash Ghai.
I think honestly, Subhash Ghai will probably be a better, more game-changing player. Yeah.
You're saying a guy who's just, I mean, a brilliantly talented player, no doubt, but a guy who's been injured quite a lot and has just recovered from a major injury and has never played in the Premier League. He's going to be slightly better than a dude who has won the World Cup and also has Premier League experience.
I think time to challenge my inner Aakarsh Chandan, which is by getting to the depressing history of Liverpool. Is that I think Liverpool, like, I think injuries for now, so far has meant months, years gone by. Like, if a player gets injured, I think there's finally a player where injuries mean 1 or 2 weeks, or like 2-3 weeks maximum. So I think I still expect him to come back. He's 23, so body's still able to take these hits. So I expect him, because I do think he's going to be the kind of creative game changer who can. I'm expecting a lot more header goals because that he's there, and him and Jota to connect. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to Luton, man. I'm looking forward to see how they do this season in the Premier League. I think it's a fantastic story. I think when they get their stadium ready for Premier League specifications, it's going to be an interesting away day for most teams, and it's going to be fantastic to see what they do. I feel like they'll punch above their weight this time around because they've got just so much support and so much goodwill going for them. And their manager Rob Edwards has been doing some great work, so I feel like they could surprise us, and more on that when we get into our predictions. Let's talk about transfers though, because we were talking about the 2 big ones for Liverpool. I'm going to start with Aakarsh, because Aakarsh, you finally have Arnaud Danjuma at Everton.
I'm celebrating with
It's nice that he's doing the Nagin dance now, because Danjuma's celebration is the snake.
Which is so weird, because last season all Everton fans called him a snake.
Yeah.
What a transition,
now-
Amogh. Guys, Amogh's podcasting skills are still on point. You saw that.
That's what I meant when I said I was posting training pics on my preseason break. That is what I
To
was
gym
doing.
mein
I
jaake
was
you were
still
looking
working
into
out.
the
Yeah.
mirror, then you were doing 10 reps of puns, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I
Matt
warm
Fat
up.
Cat, finding all
I go to the
rhyming
gym.
words also.
I warm up with 10 minutes of introductions. Then I go into 10 minutes of puns. So yeah, it was great. But so apart from Danjuma, what else is happening at Everton, Aakarsh?
Well,
And I ask
before
because I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no. So before Danjuma came, we got a very young and dynamic signing. Young only in name because we got 38-year-old Ashley Young. Which
Great
itne
signing, by
bure
the
din
way.
aaye hain ki I was like, great signing. Yeah, I was like, it's an amazing signing. We don't have a second left back after Ruben Vinagre's loan ended. He's versatile. He has leadership, which we are going to miss with a whole bunch of people going away. So yeah, I think Ashley Young was shudder, an exciting signing. Danjuma also, like, while he ditched us 6 months ago, Everton is the definition of beggars can't be choosers. So jisko aane ka hai, please aao, we're happy to take you.
But I feel like Ashley Young is actually a very good signing because he did really well for Aston Villa last season. Because
kept out a certain Luca Dean of the starting 11. So
correct, and he's 38, but he's adapted his game so well. He contributes way more than just on the pitch efforts, and his on the pitch efforts are also quite good for his age. I think he's going to be a fantastic signing. I think more than anything else, like you said, the leadership factor that he brings into that dressing room, which is going to be quite fractured right now, which is going to be quite thin right now, is very, very important for Sean Dyche to launch a successful campaign for Everton, which involves them finishing in 17th place again.
You're sounding optimistic, but the most interesting piece of trivia that I got out of this Ashley Young transfer, which sounds so unreal, but did you know that Ashley Young and Sean Dyche were teammates?
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, back in the day, honestly, I'll have to Google and tell you which team, but I think Watford or something, Sean Dyche and Ashley Young were teammates when Young was an up-and-coming young player and Dyche was captaining his team.
Wow. I think that's the contact that Sean Dyche used to get Ashley Young in.
Yeah, probably. It is, and he tried to get Ashley Young to Burnley last season as well, but Young chose Villa at that point.
A different clarity. So far, maybe he got confused.
Maybe he got confused. Sorry, and I also got confused. It wasn't which team did I say? Because they played together for Watford. Oh yeah, they did play together for Watford.
Right.
Which is interesting. And as of today, Everton have supposedly agreed a deal for a 19-year-old striker whose name I don't know, Yusuf, something like Chetri, but not Chetri, Chemetri or something like that. I've not heard of him, which is so exciting because I'm so happy Everton aren't signing the usual suspects from teams that are going down, and have signed some Portuguese striker from Sporting who is so unknown that he's exciting. 6'4", so Sean Dyche probably loves just that about him.
Amazing. No prizes for guessing what the tactics for next season at Everton are going to be. Route 1 all the way. But I mean, there's been some great moves all over the Premier League. United surprisingly have had a decent transfer window. Liverpool have made some good signings in, like we said, Subhash Ghai and Alice Nastar, as Nimesh put it a little while ago. Lots of outgoings as well from all these clubs. Man City letting go of Riyad Mahrez to Saudi Arabia as well. So lots of movement in and out happening. Which team do you think Mukesh has had the best transfer window so far?
Always Liverpool. I genuinely do think so far Liverpool because
really?
Jordan Henderson and Milner left finally.
Yeah.
After sucking at the teat of Liverpool's finances.
Wow. How fickle are you?
How
fickle are you?
No, last season.
Up until their contracts expired. You were like, dude, what a great servant James Milner is to the club. Like, he's so dependable. He can come in and do anything.
Last season,
Gordon Henderson is captain, fantastic. He's the successor to Steven Gerrard. He's so good.
No. Last season, I was supremely critical of both of them. And I do feel like they overstayed their welcome here. More than overstayed their welcome, they really did not perform and they did not show the kind of leadership expected of them. Or the skills. I think actually at some level, the skills expected of a Premier League player. So that's good. And of course,
so would you honestly? Sir, you'd honestly say they've had the best window? Because I was just looking at it. You've lost a lot of key players on free transfers.
Nope. I think all the players who are lost are either superbly injury prone or who are out and dead anyway. So we've gotten two really young and new midfielders, a kind of creativity like you haven't seen in about 3-4 years now. And like I think they're on track to get Lavia, I think. So the Lavia and one more player is what's being discussed, I think. Most of the
you're right. Like even if you lose a lot of players on free transfers, that's still fine because you save on their contracts. You save on their,
that's what's happened. Like look at the players who are left. Ox, Naby Keita, extremely injury prone. Correct. Firmino is probably the biggest loss, and that too people will agree it's fair that he didn't stay on this year because last season was like him going out bright. It'll be very hard to expect him to perform even at a super sub level, which he was last season. He was a super sub last season and worked. But to expect even super sub this season, the younger, faster, stronger Premier League, I think it'll be insane. So all the players who've left are, I think Fabinho is gone, and I think he was superbly injury prone last season. His legs had gone, and I thought he's won everything with the club. So I think he needed to cash out, and he's doing that, which makes sense. But so I do think if by the time the transfer season ends, I think Liverpool would have had the most envious to get one World Cup winning midfielder who's chosen. And these are two players who've chosen the club when they've got Europa League. So they really want to play for the club, right? It's not a high money move. They're relatively young. One of them's even played with Messi. One of them's a captain of his national team. One of them has a Liverpool, like a Gerrard coat, like Subhash has a Gerrard coat tattooed on his arm. These are the kind of players you want. Like this is kind of shit that you expect from homegrown players, but to get it from players who are coming in who are excellent midfielders who are creative. It's good. Great
if your filter to search players is players who have Steven Gerrard quotes tattooed on their arms, well, I'm sorry, my friend. I think you're going to go for some very, very bad transfer windows in the future. But Aakash, according to you, then which team do you think has had the best transfer window so far?
We've still got a while into the window remaining, but honestly, so far, I'm quite liking what Chelsea's done because I feel like they've addressed a big issue in their squad, which is their strikers. And they've got Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku, who I think two very good signings. It's been a very long time since Chelsea had one good striker, let alone two with so much potential. But more than that, I feel like they've gotten rid of a lot of average players or underperforming players on a lot of money. So Kai Havertz for 65 million, Kovacic for 30 million is a great deal. Loftus-Cheek hadn't hit his potential. Mason Mount wanted to leave, only 1 year on the contract, to get 60 million for him. Then you've got Koulibaly and Mendy leaving for the Saudi league, which would have been big money. So I feel like their outgoings have been really good. They've gotten a lot of good money for players who either weren't performing high enough or didn't want to be there. And while I'm sure they still have lots of holes to fill in that squad, it's a good start with the players that they've got in so far.
Right. And I completely agree with you. I think Chelsea have had one of the best transfer windows this season so far, especially just looking at their outgoings. I don't even want to consider the incomings.
Yeah.
Because again, like they've signed some random young players as well, apart from Nkunku and Nicholas Jackson. Both of those look really, really good players and they're settling really well into Chelsea. And under Pochettino, let's not also forget the fact that they have Pochettino as their manager now, also a part of this transfer window. So, that also counts. But I am also going to be a little partial and give a shout out to Man United because after a long time, I genuinely feel that United have got their thumb out of their ass and are doing a decent job this transfer window. Because letting David De Gea go. Maybe should have let him go a year ago. Letting him go on a free, maybe not the best thing to do. Not a big fan of how it was handled. I feel like being somebody who won the Golden Glove last year, has won multiple Player of the Season awards for the club, has been a standout performer for a majority of his career, deserved a little more respect. But having said that, £375,000 a week is now off the books. So that is a great, great thing. It was time for him to move on. Swiftly got his replacement in Andre Onana, somebody who has played with, played under Erik ten Hag before at Ajax. Had a great season at Inter Milan last season. Definitely knows how to play the Ten Hag way, knows how to play out with his feet. Is a sweeper keeper. Little bit of error prone in the Ederson mold. But I think that is something that we have come to expect from goalkeepers these days. So I'm really excited to see how he does in his full season. Mason Mount wasn't really sure what he's going to add, but he does add the squad depth in that position, especially considering Christian Eriksen is not getting any younger and his heart is not getting any fitter. So, like that is something that needed to be addressed. You can't expect Christian Eriksen to do 90 minutes week in, week out. Gives him a bit of a breather as well. And Rasmus Højlund now could be is probably on his way. So we've got the budget Haaland, who's the Højlund, who's more expensive than Haaland, but is a definite prospect. Lots of potential.
It's the Haaland you get off of AliExpress.
Exactly, it's the Haaland we get off AliExpress, but surprisingly could be as cost effective and durable and long lasting as products from AliExpress. You never know.
How sad is this that now getting budget Man City player? Wow.
Who is more expensive?
Who's more? It's not really budget. No, but wait, what?
I feel he has a lot of potential, and more than anything else,
when Mukesh said he's become wiser, he genuinely has become wiser. He gets bad transfers. Mukesh, quickly. Van Dijk, 75 million, bargain or not?
He's a bargain. Still,
shit! Never mind.
No, he's not as smart anymore.
Not
Højlund, I think Højlund is a striker, and this is a position that we definitely needed to reinforce. And we are probably going to sell Fred. We are probably going to sell Donny van de Beek. We're letting a lot of kids go out on loan as well. Lots of movement happening, and I think it's all in the right way. Also, Maguire's not captain anymore. That has been taken care of. We're listening to offers for Maguire, but just not ones that are £20 million, because that's rubbish. And Aakarsh, you and I had a conversation about this earlier.
So I want to ask Mukesh. Mukesh, what do you think is a okay price for Harry Maguire in today's market?
And Mukesh, be serious. Don't make jokes and all. Be serious.
No, okay, I'm very serious. You guys bought him for 80 million, correct? And he's successfully derailed about 4 seasons of football. 3 single-handedly, 1 was a collective effort. Correct?
I wouldn't say he derailed an entire season.
Okay, how can you derail something that didn't have tracks only? Fair enough, but there was a collapse. Okay, fine. There was a moment where you were a mid-table club, but you felt like relegation is a possibility. And that was purely because of Maguire, correct? He made it happen. Let's give him credit where it's due. Fine. I think
discredit where it's due.
Yeah. If you get 20 million for him, I think you should take every rupee and run away with that money. Because we've discussed it before, he deserves to go to where he deserves to be the Thudda in a team. Right?
Yeah, but
I'm saying this as a compliment. He is going to be in a team which needs a back 3, where the 3 are not even the big D, they're in the small D. Right? How you play inverted backs, you play outverted center backs. They're inside the small, whatever. They need to be in that sort of a team. You take 20 million. Means for every 4 rupees, you get 1 rupee back on him. That's incredible.
I entirely agree. This is exactly what I was telling Amogh. And guess what? Amogh said, no. We should get at least. And what was the figure you think he would say?
Just say a number. Don't tell me anything. Just tell me the number.
50. I said, why is United not running away with the 20 million that West Ham is offering? And he was like, hey, no, English player tax. He should go for at least 50.
Saudi Arabia won't give you that kind of money for Harry Maguire.
Did you just call him Ferrari Maguire? Are you just giving him like respect and calling him like a fucking amazing sports car?
My God, 20 million, you run away with it and you buy some young
40,
chap.
40. Come on. You can't, 20 में कौन आता है, bro?
Harry Maguire.
Nobody is...
One second, how much did you get Lisandro Martinez for? See, I get English player tax, I get homegrown tax, but see, homegrown tax when the players fuck all, there's also a Harry Maguire tax. Where you know you're getting Harry Maguire, wo jaake kahin pe he'll get thrown into jail, he'll fight with his own, he will appeal for a for a handball in his own box, he will tackle his own players, you know, it's like you're getting half a player, half an opponent, half a player.
Yeah, so I agree, 40 million, but because it's half a player, 20 million. Correct.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting, by the way, Ten Hag said that he's an important part of the squad. I mean, I love the way Ten Hag deals with these questions because that is just so sarcastic, but still so well behaved. It's amazing. But I think Harry Maguire will fight for his place on the bench this season.
No.
And,
Harry Maguire is going to Burnley. Honestly, I would love him at Everton. If he came, if Everton could get him for 15 million, I think he'd be a great centre back for Everton, for Burnley, for Wolves potentially. He just, none of the teams that finished in the top 8, top 9 last season, any of the teams who play with their back to the wall, he'd be great in. But for 15 tops, 20 million, I think he'd be amazing for David Moyes. I think he'd do a fantastic job in a David Moyes back four. But he's not worth more than 20, man.
Right. So, Bilal Mahmood has asked us, is Rasmus Højlund really going to solve United's number 9 problem? I don't think he's going to solve it in the first season because he's still very young. But I feel like he does have the potential to do that. He's strong, he's quick, he's intelligent, he has a good finish on him. He has all the mechanics that one would need to be a top striker, and I think he can do that. Also, Fazil Abbas Banatwala has asked best signing across leagues so far. Aakarsh, best signing across leagues?
Lionel Messi for Inter Miami.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
On pitch, off the pitch, financially, for the league, for the opponents, I feel overall, just that ticks the most number of boxes.
Yeah. Mukesh, do you have any other options apart from this?
Jordan Henderson for Al Ittifaq because
I was going to say that.
Because finally Steven Gerrard has a friend.
Did you all see that clip of Steven Gerrard saying, "You want the ball? Get the ball! Get the ball! Communication!" Now he'll be like, "Hey, Jordan, I can finally communicate with somebody."
Yeah.
Inshallah, the boys will play well.
Dude, okay, let's talk about the Saudi transfers, right? Because they seem to have bought everybody.
I mean, Neil Maupay is still in the English Premier League, so not everyone clearly.
But that's your fault more than anybody else's. No, but I feel like what Saudi is doing is ridiculous, and unfortunately nobody can stop them. But let's talk about the Jordan Henderson one, right? Because of all the transfers that happened, like N'Golo Kante going there, Riyad Mahrez going there, Roberto Firmino going there. They're all good players, all in their prime, all could still do a job at a club in Europe, but they still decided to go there because, of course, the money makes a big difference, especially when it could possibly your last big time contract, and that's understandable. But Jordan Henderson's transfer was the one that caused the most uproar because he was so vocal about being an ally to the LGBTQIA plus community last year in the World Cup, when the World Cup happened in Qatar. And now he's decided to go and join a Saudi Arabian club, which is also like the 7th best club in Saudi Arabia. So like, what the fuck? Like, Mukesh, as a Liverpool fan, don't you think this is a little bit hypocritical?
Yeah, but there is after about I think 100,000 pounds, there is a plane in which you will meet where there's nothing like hypocrisy anymore. After that point, you just do whatever money says.
I guess he's just going to be.
And I guess he's just going to be like, course, I'm going to take some in another country, get 100,000
Yeah.
euros.
No, but I completely fucking agree with that, right? Because at the end of the day, why shouldn't he go? Right? Like, why would you turn down such a nice contract offer at this point in your career?
I mean, if anything, he's like Robin Hood, taking from them and spending it in the UK. I guess that makes it. No, I mean, I get why. I get the ethical conundrum, but I guess but I also get why it's in theory only, and it's not a real
thing.
Exactly.
Is it even an ethical conundrum? Because there are so many people who work for companies that are absolute shit. Like, they are causing direct harm to the environment, but still people will take their paycheck and fucking, spend it, without any remorse. Why is this any different?
I mean, I feel like, look, like you're saying, every decision that we make, like they did in The Good Place, if you all have watched The Good Place, every decision you make is that somewhere, something funding some terrorist organization, some white chauvinistic person, all that jazz. But I feel like some things are more in control than the other. And I get why Jordan Henderson's gone, but I feel like it's totally fair to call him out on his hypocrisy.
Yeah, but I mean, I find it a little rich for people to call him out on his hypocrisy also, because nobody who is calling him out on his hypocrisy is in his position or has to make the same number of decisions or the same level of decisions that he has to make.
I think a way to judge him is to look at the players look at other people who were in that position of power, who were in a similar position, and see the decisions that they made, and then be like, okay, maybe at that level humans get to operate at that level or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
See, that's one way to look at it. I honestly, I'm not trying to play safe here. I do broadly still agree that he must be questioned, but I do empathize at that level when you're when you are an athlete or whatever, and your career is technically small, and you're one of the, out of the millions you've seen, you're one of the few who's managed to get a paycheck out of sport, and you're getting the biggest paycheck of your life. And all of us can agree Jordan Henderson is not an incredibly talented football player. He was not going to get even a matchable offer. Like a Cristiano Ronaldo would have got a comparable offer, right? Or Karim Benzema would have still got a comparable offer at another place, but they chose for whatever reasons to go there. So I get why he's going, but it does Amogh. I think it does take away his credibility as captain and leader, as the same voice, because it reduces his position as a person who can influence decisions. It doesn't reduce his stature as a person or human, because I guess any human in that position would do the same thing. Because I guess at that money, you will do that because that can sort your life out. But I think as a leader, he does go down in my books. Right. And that's fine.
All right, on that,
leadership skills don't matter in the broad, as long as it's not.
Right. On that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we reveal our predictions from last season and make new predictions for this season. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody, and we are now going to reveal our predictions from last season. This is what we have waited the entire season for. Like, honestly, the only reason why we do this podcast and get through the season is so that by the end of the season, we can look back at the dumb shit that we said in our predictions and bring it up. All right, so the first category is the top 4 order. Now, we all know that the top 4 order that actually happened was City won it, Arsenal were in second, Man United in third, and Newcastle were in fourth. Aakarsh, do you want to know what your predictions were?
Yes, please.
All right. Aakarsh, you predicted City to win. Well done. Liverpool to come second. Not so well done. Spurs to come third. And Arsenal to come fourth.
So 50% of the top 4, basically. 2 out of 4.
Not bad at all. Mukesh, you said Liverpool would win.
I know what I said. Yeah.
City would come second. Spurs would come third. And Arsenal would come fourth.
50%.
Yeah.
But you didn't get any positions right.
Yeah. I didn't get any positions right.
Neither did I. And mine, I think, was the most bizarre. Mine was Liverpool to win it, Spurs to come second, City to come third, and Arsenal to come fourth.
Wow,
Why
we
were
really
we all
underestimated City.
And why did we all overestimate Spurs so much? What was going on in preseason that we thought Spurs
Yeah.
would impress?
I think
Yeah.
Conte and Harry Kane and, I don't know, I just felt like Conte would really change things up.
Yeah, I think that was the big. Influencing point for us, that Conte going there
Yes.
would have really sorted it out, but that was not to be. Prashant also had Liverpool to win it, City to come second, Arsenal to come third, and Spurs to come fourth. So all four of us had Spurs in the top four.
But I was
Which
the
is
only one who
bizarre.
had City winning it. That seems
Yes,
bizarre
you
to
had the
me.
only one.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's true. Because I remember all of us severely underestimated how easily Haaland would adapt to the Premier League. And I think most pundits also were raising that question, because saying that Bundes is not like the Bundesliga turns out we are very much like the Bundesliga.
Worse,
that one
probably.
team constantly wins it. And that he will score hat-tricks after hat-tricks and no one will come close.
Absolutely right. So the next category is the relegation candidates. The three teams who got relegated last season were Southampton, Leeds, and Leicester City. Aakarsh, you predicted that Southampton would go down, so well done. But you also predicted that Bournemouth and Fulham would go down. Now Bournemouth were close to going down, and that was really, really interesting. Which kind of ties up much later in another category. But this is interesting. You predicted Fulham to go down, and Fulham really had a great season.
Yeah,
so you
great
were very,
season.
very wrong there.
And happy to be wrong. Well done,
Yeah.
Marco Silva.
Well done, Marco Silva. Indeed. Mukesh, you predicted Bournemouth, Fulham, and Leeds to go down. So again, you got one out of the three right, but a different one. I thought as a Liverpool fan, you would actually want Southampton to go down, considering how they're a feeder club. And you would want them to go down, so you get
And they
their players
haven't
on the
been
cheap.
in a while. I don't think they've been a feeder club in a while. I mean, because they haven't been that good a club in a while.
Yeah, but I feel kuch to, matlab, if not players, you must have hired some like doctors or physios from them just to keep the relationship going. Canteen staff ko leke aano zara, please transfer.
Sorry, what was the one I got right? Southampton I got right.
Southampton, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Prashant predicted Bournemouth, Fulham, and Leeds to go down. So again, he gets Leeds correct. Bournemouth and Fulham are the other ones. I predicted Leeds, Fulham, and Bournemouth to go down. So again, I got Leeds right. Aakarsh, you're the only one who got Southampton. And all four of us thought Bournemouth and Fulham would go down.
Yeah.
What a turnaround. What a fucking
But I
turnaround.
think Bournemouth not so much, because I think Leicester was obviously the biggest surprise. I think that's the one that nobody could have really predicted.
Nobody saw that coming.
Like, I think Leicester winning the league, like them going down, is pretty much as probable as them, I think, going down almost.
Yeah.
True.
So they went down in that fashion.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. All right. So the next category is the push for the Europa League and also the conference. So we spoke about three teams who would make it. The teams that actually made it were Liverpool, Brighton, and Aston Villa, which is really, really nice.
I'd be
Aakarsh,
very
you
impressed if
predicted
any of
Chelsea?
us got two.
No. So Aakarsh, you predicted Chelsea, United, and Newcastle in those spots. Now,
Good shot.
technically,
Good
you
shot.
got United and Newcastle because they got Champions League. So they're technically still in Europe.
Right.
So let's see if this is...
So I got 6 out of the top 7 correct, basically. Oh no, Spurs.
4.
Spurs.
You got 4. You got 4 out of 7, yeah.
Yeah. Mukesh, you chose United, Chelsea, and Leicester. How wrong were you on that one? Jamie Vardy bhi kabhi buda ho jata hai, bro.
Good.
All the Red Bull and vodka is not going to save him after a certain point.
And
Now it's
I
Jamie Vardy's
underestimated-
having a hangover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I underestimated how depressing a manager Brendan Rodgers could be.
Yeah. And you, out of all of us, should have seen that coming.
Yeah. So I predicted United, Chelsea, and Newcastle, which just goes to show that I had no faith in United making it to top 4. But Erik ten Hag has proven me wrong. 3rd place, not bad. Great season all over. But I'm happy that I put Newcastle in there because they exceeded both our expectations, Aakarsh and me. So that's really, really nice. But this is where it fucking kills, all right? Because Prashant predicted Chelsea, United, and Aston Villa.
Wow.
Oh.
The Unai
He
Fucking
got
Emery
Villa
guy.
right, dude. Yeah, he got Villa right. Well done, Prash. Right, let's go to the next category, which is the dark horses category. These are the teams that we thought would make some sort of an impact and make us feel like, what? They actually did that? Aakarsh, let's start with you, because you predicted Crystal Palace to be the dark horses.
Which I guess they were, I guess, no,
I mean,
mid-table,
11th,
12th.
11th place is
I'm
not
sorry. They
great.
they sacked Patrick Vieira in the towards the end of the season. They got Roy Hodgson back out of retirement. 75-year-old Roy Hodgson came back to manage Crystal Palace again and has now signed a contract extension to manage them next season. And they survived relegation. I don't think
Comfortably
they were the dark
survived
horses.
relegation.
Yeah, but I don't think you would call that a dark horse.
Yeah, I agree. If they had finished top half, I would say that maybe my prediction was right.
I
but
mean, they
11th
finished
is-
above Chelsea. So that is
Yeah, but
dark
you-
horse
no,
material.
But,
no.
yeah, that's Chelsea's
I think-
bag,
I
not
Chelsea-
Palace.
Chelsea,
Chelsea were
Chelsea was the white horse.
They were like white pig or something.
Yeah,
They were like
exactly.
the white
Yeah.
pig.
This is
But
more
we
to
should
do
have,
with
we should have
Chelsea.
that category. Who
Yeah.
will be the white pig this year?
Yeah. Prashant also predicted Crystal Palace to be the dark horses. Mukesh, you predicted Aston Villa to be the dark horses. So I think
Well
fair to
done.
say you've got that spot on.
Well
I
done,
predicted
Nagin
Newcastle.
Dance.
I predicted Newcastle to be the dark horses.
Oof, that
So
is like
I feel like
hard,
that
hard,
is an even
hard
bigger
Nagin.
Nagin dance.
yeah, you deserve the hard Nagin dance.
Yeah.
But you also did
Uh,
predict that they will finish in the European spots.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
itself
So I
is,
really-
yeah.
No, wait. Does that make me an accessory to the crimes that Saudi Arabia commits?
I mean, you did go to Dubai, so you tell us. What'd you get up to over there?
Different countries, dude. Different countries.
So-
Also, I didn't actually go to Dubai. All right, next category is the Golden Boot. Any prizes for guessing who won the Golden Boot last year?
Darwin
let me
Núñez.
guess. Højlund?
It was Erling Haaland, of course. Erling Haaland just completely shattering all the expectations from preseason from us. And
Did
from
any
the
of us
pundits about how
get
he
it
would
wrong?
adapt. Did any of us get it right?
I
Or
thought
wrong?
maybe we all went Haaland. Did none of
No,
us get
only
Haaland?
Mukesh and I went Erling Haaland, so we got it
Oh.
right. Akash, you went for Mo Salah.
Fair enough. I mean, he did come third or something. So I guess that's
Yeah.
not too far.
Close enough.
But far
Uh,
away in numbers.
Yeah.
Prashant went for Salah and Kane to be tied.
Hmm.
So second and third. So
Yeah, but
I mean,
Mukesh-
we not like there are some 1,000 options to choose from.
Yeah,
there are
exactly.
only
Yeah.
5, 6.
exactly. So Mukesh, you and I get that right. Next category is the Golden Glove. David De Gea won the Golden Glove. And let me say this right now: none of us got it right. Because
Yeah.
Akash, you predicted Ederson. Mukesh, you predicted Allison. I also predicted Allison. And Prashant went a slightly different direction. He was the differential option. He went Allison and Ederson to be tied.
Wow, we played it safe here.
Yeah, we played very safe.
Also, it just sounds so cruel in hindsight that we didn't guess Daya. He won the Golden Glove and then he got transferred out of the team.
Yeah.
Like if it had happened at least 2-3 seasons earlier, then it makes sense because he was in bad form or something. But
Yeah.
like he was in the form of his life clearly for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Then
Shit,
he got,
and-
like voted out of the team.
Not only that, I mean, sure, it sucks for us to have not picked him. I'm sure that hurts a lot. But even the way his exit happened, I mean, we hardly spoke about it, but the fact that United offered a contract, it was accepted, and then they said, nahin, actually, ye galti se de diya, and then retracted the contract. It was a messy thing. Poor chap. He's not gotten a
Yeah.
new club, has he?
No, but apparently he might go to Bayern or Saudi Arabia. Those are the two.
Oh,
I'm guessing
Offers that
Saudi
are being
Arabia is the
taken.
only one who's going to be able to match your wages. Bayern won't pay
Yeah,
him
but
as
I feel
much.
like he's open to taking a little bit of a pay cut and staying in Europe because he's also got a new daughter, and I don't think you would take your young daughter to Saudi Arabia. But
Makes
maybe
sense.
that's just me. Yeah. All right. So the next category is the player with the most red cards. Do we know who the answer is?
Who actually got the most red cards?
Yeah.
Was it Ivan Toney by any chance?
It was not Ivan Toney. He got banned, but that was for betting.
Uh-huh.
So his suspension was not due to red cards.
yes, that's a bigger than a red
Yeah.
card.
That is that That is a 5-card flush with a stake of 100,000 pounds. They could be colored red, we don't know. But yeah, the player who got the most red cards last season was Casemiro with 2.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm
none of us
guessing
got
no
him
one
right.
got this.
No
Yeah,
one
I
got
think
this
I'd
right.
gone
Aakarsh-
Tyrone Mings.
No, you had gone for Stuart Dallas,
Ah.
but with 2 red cards. So you got the number right, so that's good.
Hmm.
Prashant went for Michael Keane with 2. So again, number right, all good. Mukesh went for Liverpool legend John Joe Shelby with 3 red cards. I don't think John Joe Shelby made 3 appearances last season. So you were severely wrong in that one. And I went for Dan Burn with 2 red cards. So, we all got that spectacularly wrong, but we at least got the number of cards right, at least most of us. Next category is the first team to sack their manager last season. The first manager to lose his job last season was Scott Parker of Bournemouth early on in the season. And I think that was one of the best decisions they made, because Gary O'Neill really turned that ship around and made them really impressive towards the end and saved them. But none of us got him right either. Aakarsh, you went for Ralph Hasenhüttl, who did get sacked, but just not first.
I think he was second, yeah.
Yeah. Prashant went for Frank Lampard. I forget, was this Frank Lampard at Everton or at Chelsea? I don't remember anymore which Frank Lampard he's talking about. But yeah, also did get sacked, came back as Chelsea manager later, but was not the first. Mukesh, you also went for Ralph Hasenhüttl, and I went for Brendan Rodgers. So all the managers we spoke about did get sacked. They just didn't get sacked first. So I think we can take some pride in that. Then our final category is the what the fuck moment in the season. Right now we had some interesting predictions here, but the actual let's talk about what the actual what the fuck moments could have been. Should we talk about those first, or should we talk about what we predicted first?
What the fuck moments?
I feel like the one that comes to my mind is the handshake.
Yes, exactly. I think that was the biggest what the yeah. That was the biggest what the fuck moment.
Even Conte throwing his Spurs players under the bus as quickly as he did. That was also quite what the fuck.
Basically, I think Conte was the biggest what the fuck of last season.
Yeah.
Spurs were the what the fuck. Conte was just the victim of the what the fuck.
Or the instigator of the what the fuck. We don't know. Aakarsh, you predicted that 2 goals would be scored by keepers this season. Unfortunately, keepers managed to score a grand total of 0 goals in this season.
But they did get a few assists.
They did get a few assists. Prashant said there would be an internal conflict between teammates blowing up on the pitch. That did not happen. We are still awaiting a recap of the Lee Bowyer, Kieran Dyer bust-up, but that has not happened.
Ted Lasso doesn't count.
Ted Lasso does not count. Mukesh, you said the referee would get a red card. I think I'll give this to you. Because Andy Robertson did elbow a referee. So if the referee's way to discipline a player is to show a card, then a player's way to discipline a referee is probably to elbow him. So I think you come the closest, Mukesh. So I'm going to give this category to you.
What a reach, man. What a reach.
What a reach.
Bro, this entire category is a reach. Like, आपने को क्या पता क्या what the fuck moment होने वाला है. Anyway, so my what the fuck moment was a manager was being sent to the stands. I don't think that happened. I don't think any manager got sent to the stands.
Klopp was sent to the stands.
In the middle of the
game? No, he wasn't.
Did he get sent to the stands in the middle of the game?
No. He got red carded, but I don't think he was sent to the stands.
Oh, so he was just like sent off to the dressing room.
Yeah.
That's how it works. All right, cool. So those were our categories. Those were our predictions for last year. Fantastic stuff, guys. We got quite a few correct and quite a few spectacularly fucking wrong.
Sounds like we should start a podcast or something about football.
Yeah, we really should, right? But that means we now come towards the end of the episode and there's only one thing left before we leave. We got to make predictions for season 2023-24. Are we ready, boys?
Let's go. Yes. I'm ready for this. Last.
Okay, cool. Top 4 in order. This is the first category that we have to talk about. Aakarsh, what is your top 4 in order?
So I am going to say that we're going to have a repeat of the top 3. So it's going to be City, Arsenal, United, in my opinion. But Liverpool will get that 4th Champions League spot. So that's my top 4.
All right. Mukesh, are you going to still give Liverpool the winning position in your predictions, or are you going to, toe the party line and say City is going to win it?
I actually feel like this is the furthest cities ever look like from winning it.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Erling
You
Haaland
just
has
never
now
learn, don't
gotten
you?
used to the Premier League. The first season, he was still, shaky. He's
The
gotten used
Premier
to
League
it.
got used to him too. You know what? Let me do this. Liverpool to win it, just for feels.
Okay.
No. Actually, let me just do the anti-jinx, maybe. Yeah, City to win it. City to win it. Liverpool to come second. United to come third. Arsenal to come fourth.
All right.
Sounds like a heavy regret, but just let's go.
I feel like, I'm in the same boat because I'm also going to go with the same 4 teams. I don't think any others. I don't think we're going to see a surprise like a Newcastle once again. Even though Newcastle have made some nice signings in Harvey Barnes, and letting go of Saint-Maximin is good because he was a very skillful player, but with zero end product. And what Harvey Barnes gets you is the end product. So I think they will definitely do well. Maybe not top 4 material though. So I think it is going to be City to win it. I think it is going to be Arsenal to come second again. And it is going to be United to come third again. And it is going to be Liverpool who make it to the top 4 because even they have had a very good transfer window.
So same. You and me, same, basically.
You and me are same, Aakarsh. And now all that is left is for Prashant to give his predictions. And considering he's not here, he was kind enough to send us a voice note. And these are Prashant's predictions for the season.
Yo. Okay, so this is my predictions. Top 4 order. Going from the bottom. At 4th place, I am predicting Liverpool. Then at 3rd place, I am predicting Manchester United. Then at 2nd place, I am predicting Man City. And on the top, I'm predicting for sure Arsenal. I really think they might be able to pick it up this season.
All right, our next category is the relegation candidates. Aakarsh, you have to name 3 teams that you think are going to get relegated. They don't have to be in order. They can be in any order. Just 3 names of teams that you think are going to be relegated.
So I'm very sure of 2. I think that's Luton and Sheffield. I think they're going to go straight back down.
Okay.
It's that 18th spot that I'm not sure about. And I feel like the difference between now and the end of the transfer window is when it'll happen. But that 18th spot is either Everton or Bournemouth.
So who are you going to take?
Fuck it, I'm going to say Bournemouth. I have a very bad feeling it'll be Everton, but Bournemouth. So Bournemouth, Luton and Sheffield.
Right. All right. Mukesh, what about you?
I'm going to say Luton, Nottingham Forest, and Luton, Nottingham Forest, and I feel like Sheffield knows how to hold themselves. Maybe Bournemouth, Bournemouth.
Okay. I'm going to go with Sheffield for sure. I don't think Sheffield know how to hold themselves. I don't think they have interesting players in their team. And I don't think they have an interesting manager either. So I feel like Sheffield will definitely go down. I have a feeling Luton will go down, but I don't want to put them here because I really want them to stay. So I'm going to put Everton in there. I feel like...
Guys, come on, you're underestimating Sean Dyche.
I don't know. Like Aakarsh said, the transfer window is what is going to be the deciding factor. And up until now, they've got Ashley Young and Arnaud Danjuma, and I don't think those 2 players are going to make a massive difference in their bid for survival.
For sure.
They need a lot more reinforcement. They need to get Calvert-Lewin up and firing. They need a fucking Hail Mary from God. But they don't have that yet. So I feel like Everton are probably going to be the Leicester of this season. You know, the team that we didn't expect would actually go down, but ended up going down anyway.
No, I feel like if Everton go down, it's expected because Leicester weren't inconsistent relegation battles. Everton's a definite candidate. I'm hoping they scrape through, but they're a definite candidate.
Yeah, and Bournemouth is the third option for me as well, because I feel like sacking Gary O'Neill was not a good thing that they did, and whatever stability that he brought to the club after he took the job from Scott Parker has gone now, and that team is going to be very, very confused. So yeah, Sheffield, Everton, and Bournemouth are my relegation candidates, and this is what Prash had to say.
I think going from what we saw last season, I think from the bottom, I'm going to put in Everton, because I still don't think they have it in shape, I don't think they have it together just yet. Then the one above that is Nottingham Forest. I think even they weren't in shape either last season, and I really think they might just drop the ball this time. I don't think any of the signings, any of the strategies, any of the gameplay worked. And the one above that is Luton Town. I don't know, I feel pretty confident about Luton Town, simply because they're just coming back into the Premier League, and they might not have it. It might be a very competitive season as well, so I think Luton Town may not be able to get it.
Okay, next up, we are going to go to the rest of the European spots. The way we're doing this is we have to name 2 teams that we think will make it to the Europa League and 1 team that will make it to the Conference League. So Aakarsh, let's go with your Europa League teams first.
So I think Chelsea, and I'm going to say Newcastle.
Chelsea and Newcastle are your options for Europa League. And for Conference League?
I'm going to say Postecoglou is going to get Spurs back into Europe, I think.
It's fantastic. Mukesh, what about you? Who do you think is going to take the 2 Europa League spots?
Newcastle for sure. Probably Chelsea, because they just have more winning players.
Okay.
And then, Tottenham for 7th.
Tottenham for the Conference League?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say Newcastle for the Europa and Villa. And for Conference League, it's going to be your friend and mine, Spurs.
So you're saying Pochettino is not going to get Chelsea back into the top 7, huh?
I feel like they're still a little confused about what their squad is. They're making the moves in the right direction, but I feel like they still have a long way to go. And they will struggle a bit this season. Next season, there will be more stability. And as always, this is what Prashant had to say.
The 2 Europa teams. So one, I'm guessing, is Tottenham. I think Tottenham haven't got silverware or any kind of good position in the last couple of years. They've been trying to build up. And I think they might want to at least aim for a Europa, if not in the top 4. And the next one is Chelsea. Again, I think like Tottenham, even they would want to be in a position where they haven't been in the best of forms, and I don't think they would want to aim to be in the conference. They might want to at least be in the Europa teams, and I think that's fair. You know, once they get things together in Europa, they can at least aim to be at least in the top 4. And so I think Chelsea and Tottenham in for the Europa. Conference team, I think this one is probably going to be Brighton. They have, I think they've definitely done some amazing work in the last couple of seasons, especially last season, and they've got an amazing position. I think they might just keep up with it and may not want to aim above what they've already achieved. They might want to be at least in a place where they can play European teams, or at least some kind of games outside of the Premier League as well. So I think Brighton is, in my opinion, at least my prediction, that it's going to be in the conference team.
All right, our next category is for the overperforming team and why. This is one team that we feel has overperformed in the season, and we have to give a justification as to why we think. Aakarsh?
Okay, me first. So, I feel like Brighton are going to do really well in Europe. I think they're going to suffer in the league because of fixture congestion. So I feel like Brighton are going to be very interesting. But I'm going to actually go with Burnley and say that Burnley will have a comfortable mid-table, like a 11th to 13th type finish, which I think for Burnley will be overperforming considering they're just coming up. So Brighton in Europe, Burnley in the Premier League.
Awesome. Mukesh, what about you?
Burnley to finish between 11th to 15th, which I think is a great achievement for them.
Okay, awesome. I feel like it's going to be Villa. Sorry, you said Burnley, no?
Yeah.
Mukesh?
Yeah,
okay.
Burnley for me too.
Okay, I'm going to say Villa is going to be the overperforming team because I feel like they're going to have a decent season in the Premier League and they're going to possibly go on and win the Europa League.
They don't have the depth for that, to handle both Europe and the Premier League.
I think they're going to make... they've made some good signings in Tielemans. Tielemans is a great signing. Diaby is an interesting signing as well. And I feel like Unai Emery's breakfast is fucking the Europa League, man. Like it is what he does best. And I feel like...
But they're in the Conference League, aren't they?
Yeah, but he will win the Conference League.
I think that's what he means. He means Europe.
They'll win the Conference League and then they'll go on to the Europa next season.
They'll pull a West Ham.
And that is the motivation also for Unai Emery. Like, even if they don't do a good job in the Premier League, him winning the Conference League is good enough motivation for him to get into the Europa League, which is what he loves to win. So, I think that's what's going to happen with Villa. And this is what Prash had to say.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say it's going to be Crystal Palace. Why? Because Hodgson. I really don't have any other reason, just simply because they're going to overperform because of Hodgson. And he's just going to keep the ship steady and somehow it's going to look like they have overperformed.
All right, next category is an underperforming team and why. This is a team that has genuinely disappointed us this season. Aakarsh, what is your underperforming team of the season?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I can't see a team that's going to fall. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to say Brentford, because Brentford finished 9th this past season. I think they'll struggle without Ivan Toney. So yeah, I guess Brentford.
Brentford have got Mikkel Damsgaard though.
Yeah, I know. Or I can't think of. So I was thinking Newcastle because they'll not finish Champions League, but that's still not underperforming. So Brentford.
That's not underperforming.
Yeah. So I feel like Brentford will have the biggest drop. I don't see them finishing top half. So Brentford.
Okay. Mukesh, what about you?
Newcastle. Something tells me that their hyper defensive, time wasting football, which has worked for them now and for last season, I think might get caught out. And I don't think they're wise enough to change tactics aggressively or to do something else. And they don't have the players to suddenly change tactics. So I think Newcastle.
Okay. I feel like Chelsea is going to be an underperforming team for sure. Even with Pochettino, I feel like they're going to find it a little difficult in the Premier League. And honestly, much like last season, even if they have like a one place advantage over last season, that is still underperforming for Chelsea. So I'm going to go with Chelsea. Let's hear what Prash had to say.
For me, I think it's going to be Bournemouth. I think there's a lot of pressure maybe that's just mounting in at Bournemouth. And I think the reason why is probably just because of history. I think they haven't had success in trying to stay consistently in the Premier League for a while. They've gone and come, and I know they've got a new manager, but I think that pressure is going to be on him already. And because I'm also predicting that they are going to be in the relegation, they might want to they might just have an issue at some point. They're just not going to perform, at least in my opinion.
All right, next category is the Golden Boot. Do we even go through this?
No.
Or should we just...
Yeah, I mean, just I think it's a walkover.
Yeah, Mukesh,
I
what
think
about
it's
you?
Haaland, but with a smaller gap between 1 and 2 this time.
See, that doesn't matter. You have to just
that
name.
doesn't matter.
We don't know how many goals and all. We just have to name the name. Smaller gap, bigger gap,
Haaland.
doesn't matter.
Haaland.
Yep. All right. Me too.
Yeah.
Unless Prashant has
Let's just
anything
fill in
different
for
to say.
Prashant. Prashant also
Prashant,
says
we
Haaland.
don't want to hear what you have to say. You're also saying Haaland.
Shit, I'm sure he
next up
said like Neil Maupay or something like that. I remember last time he had manager of the season as Sam Allardyce, so he does that shit.
That's true. All right, next up is Golden Glove. Aakarsh, who do you think is going to get the Golden Glove this season?
So here I'm going to go for a full punch, but I'm going to say David Raya at Arsenal because he's being very heavily linked with Arsenal. So I'm going to say he's going to move to Arsenal and have a clean sheet season.
So you think they're going to bench Ramsdale?
That's what's being... I mean, I've always believed that Ramsdale's not a great keeper at all. But he's being very strongly linked to Arsenal and to Bayern. So, but I feel like he'll go to Arsenal. I think he'll be great at Arsenal. So I'm going to say David Raya at Arsenal.
Okay, and if he doesn't go to Arsenal and goes to Bayern, then your prediction is null and void?
Then my prediction is null and void, yeah. Because I don't have an option B.
All right, Mukesh, who do you think is going to win the Golden Glove?
Alisson. Put it down for Alisson.
All right, you're putting you down for Alisson. I'm going to go with Nick Pope.
No,
we'll get caught out. Yeah, no.
I just want to give a differential option here because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Nick Pope will come into his own and he spent some more time, he spent an entire season now under Eddie Howe. Second season under Eddie Howe can only be better. And he's a good goalkeeper, so I feel like Nick Pope can possibly nick it. I feel like the way Alisson and Liverpool play and the way Ederson and Man City play, I think that they are quite liable to get caught out. So I don't know. But yeah, Nick Pope for me. And this is what Prashant had to say.
For me, I think the Golden Glove is going to be given to Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's got a new... I don't know if it's a new start, but I think there is something for him to look forward to. I think that Arsenal have achieved something so much more, and I think Ramsdale will want to be a top contender, in terms of goalkeepers for the season, and I hope he gets it,
All right, next category is most red cards. Last season, of course, it was Casemiro. Aakarsh, who do you think it's going to be this season?
This season also, I'm going to go with a Red Devil, but I'm going to say it's Lautaro Martinez.
Lisandro Martinez, but
Lisandro Martinez. Sorry, Lautaro's the other fucker. Lisandro Martinez.
How many cards?
2.
Okay, 2 cards for Lisandro Martinez. He's actually quite well disciplined, so you might get that one quite wrong. Mukesh, who's your candidate for most red cards?
I'll go for a differential in this. I think it's going to be Harry Maguire with 2 red cards because he's desperate. He's desperate for game time. He's desperate not to screw up.
So he's going to get suspended and not get game time?
And he's going to do the stupid things that get him there, yeah.
Okay, cool. I honestly don't know who to go for in this. I was thinking long and hard about this, but it's so hard to tell who can be the one. I'm also going to go with a slight differential. It's going to be John Egan from Sheffield because I feel like they have that little bit of harami panti in them, and I feel like he's going to get 2 red cards. And he's going to be the one to go. So John Egan from Sheffield is my shout. And this is what Prashant had to say.
Aakarsh, I know you're going to hate me for this one. But I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's going to be Doucouré. Doucouré with 2 cards. I feel like he's going to probably get 3, but I'm going to predict 2 for sure. He's going to get this season. He has been a little reckless. And I don't think he's going to get away with it maybe this season. He's definitely, at least in my opinion, going to get 2 red cards.
All right, and final category now is the first manager to get the sack. This is obviously the funnest category. Aakarsh, who do you think is going to be the first manager to get the sack?
I'm going to say Paul Heckingbottom at Sheffield. They'll come up, they'll underperform the Sheffield team. The board will stress and be like, fuck it, pull the trigger. Get someone with Premier League experience.
Right. Mukesh, who's yours?
Roy Hodgson, I think.
Roy Hodgson, you think he'll get sacked?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think
But
he won't
first-
be able to keep up, and then they'll.
I feel like
No,
he
yeah,
will
I
get
feel like-
sacked, but not first. They'll give him time.
I don't think he'll get sacked. I think they'll stick with him through the
See,
season.
Sheffield is a good shout, so I
Yeah.
have to
Hmm.
like it is a very good shout. But I mean, I guess if you have to be, I feel like guessing a differential out here sounds hard. So I'm like, okay, might as well go for a short one. But I do feel like Roy Hodgson won't make it to the end of the season. Cut
Okay.
to Roy Hodgson winning the Premier League.
Yeah. Okay, so my shout is the Bournemouth manager. I don't remember his name. Who's the manager of Bournemouth?
Who they get after
Whoever.
getting-
I think, whoever. He's going to be the one to go first because I feel like he's not going to do a good job and they're going to pull the trigger.
Iraola, Andoni Iraola.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, if they could sack Gary O'Neill after the season he gave them, we could be seeing Bournemouth becoming the new Watford. So I feel like he's going to be the one to go. And finally, this is what Prashant had to say about the first manager to get the sack.
Again, like I said, this was underperforming team and relegation team. Bournemouth is, and I know they've got a new manager, Andoni Iraola. I think Andoni is going to be the first manager to get the sack. So yeah, those are my predictions for the season.
And there you have it. Those are our predictions for the upcoming season 2023-24. At the end of the season, we will revisit these. Of course, I keep them in a password-protected notes file on my phone, so nobody gets to see these predictions or change them till the end of the season. So we will forget about these for a long, long time. And hopefully so will you, so that when we actually do the reveal next season, you will be pleasantly surprised to see the chutia that we spoke about. But that is it for this curtain raiser, back to the studio, back to recording, back to releasing podcasts episode of the Corner Flag. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of the episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Aakarsh on Instagram at
Aakarsh Chandan.
You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
with the Nagin dance, and you can find me on Instagram at Amogh.
That's because his name is actually Nagin Dance.
It is legally Nagin dance. If you see my birth certificate, it says first name Nagin, last name Dance. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Twitter and Instagram at cornerflagpod. Do visit our website, thecornerflag.in. You can support us by donating coffees to us on buymeacoffee.com/thecornerflag. We'd really appreciate that. If you can't do that, that's also fine. But please do subscribe to us and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. And leave us a 5-star review, because that really helps us get discovered by newer listeners. It pushes the podcast out. It gets us top of the charts in Apple Podcasts and Spotify's sporting charts, and that's always nice to see. Shout out to Kazad Garda for composing our theme tune, and until next week, and we can say this with certainty, until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Aakarsh.
Bye.
Say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.